And welcome back. So let's continue our conversation with Janine Hansen, State Senate candidate for District 9 here in Nevada. Janet, we were talking a little bit before we got rolling here, and we were talking about the importance of restoring constitutional liberties, which I'm sure is a big part of the platform of the American Independent Party, correct?
Yes, the Independent American Party stands strongly behind the Constitution. We feel it's under assault. Many of our individual liberties are in jeopardy right now. And one of the reasons for that is because the government has forgotten that they're not supposed to do a lot of things for us. They're supposed to be leaving us alone to be able to do them for ourselves. And that's a big issue, and we need to get back to limited constitutional government. This is critical for the future of our nation.
You know, other than voters, though, voters have the ultimate power. You have to get that message across to them because against your principles and what you're trying to accomplish, you've got the big money lobbyists, right? So,
true, very true.
You know, how does it get frustrating, I guess, in trying to get the message out to the people who will go to the polls, make the vote, and make things happen?
Well, that's what a campaign is all about, and that's why I'm here in Pahrump, and I've been here. I'll be back, and I've been here before, because I'm trying to get my message out that there are alternatives to the twin party monopoly, the Republicans and Democrats, the tax and spend and tax policies. You know, we need to say no to bigger government. We need to say no to taxes. We spoke earlier about the fact that the Republican in this district is supporting a tax on food, and that I am completely against a tax on food. This is important because the more taxes, the more the government takes our taxes. I don't know if you're aware, but the Reader's Digest said that 50 to 60% of the average family's income goes to federal, state, and local taxes, much of it hidden. We can't imagine that it's that much, but my brother used to was in construction for Scott Roofing for doing roofs. And what he said when he'd give an estimate to people for their roof, he would say, now a $5,000 estimate means that $2,500 of that is going for taxes, is going for permits, is going for fees, is going for licenses. So we have no idea how much of our money is going to pay the government. What we need to do is to look at ways to reduce the size and scope of government so that our constitutional liberties are not continually under assault. One of the liberties I'm very concerned about is the petition right in the state of Nevada. The legislature passed a law which makes a very small window. It's called, in order for the people to be able to have a petition, and that is the single subject rule, and it's very, very small like this, but the single subject rule for the legislature is very, very wide. And so they have put this tremendous burden on our constitutional right to petition. And what's happened? This year there's no petitions on the ballot because it's very difficult to pass that test. And so the legislature doesn't like the people to have the opportunity to have their say through having things on the ballot and to have a petition campaign. And I fought that in the legislature. It was the Republicans actually that passed it, and I was able to get it out, and then they put it back in. And I am very much in favor of protecting the people's right to petition. You need to have free speech, and that's one of the ways you can do it, through the right to petition. This is a critical right that's under assault. Also, the right of trial by jury. Now, if you go into an administrative court, like through the tax department or OSHA or other departments, your right to trial by jury is gone. That's guaranteed in the Nevada Constitution.
Wow.
for not only criminal trials, but for civil trials. But because they've removed that into a no man's land of administrative courts, you lose your right to trial by jury or even to appeal it to a new trial to a judge. So there are critical constitutional liberties that are under assault in the state of Nevada, and I will stand up and protect those. I'm one of the only people there who goes to testify that actually quotes from the Constitution, and we have a wonderful Constitution in the state of Nevada and also our federal Constitution, and these are under assault by big government, and we need to say no.
You said that the right to petition is very, very narrow for citizens. Is that something new that the legislature just said, you know what, we don't want to bother with these people coming to us with these ideas for improving their lives, and they just passed a law and said, you want to petition us, you're going to have to squeeze through a very, very narrow opening to get it done. That's something recent that just happened?
Yes, that's happened in the last, I think in the last couple of sessions that happened, and now we're beginning to see the fruits of it, and the fruits are that there's no petitions on the ballot.
Wow.
And they don't like petitions on the ballot because they want to make the laws. They're arrogant enough to think that the people don't know better than them. And sometimes the reason our founding fathers in Nevada gave us the right to petition in the state constitution was because sometimes the people need to override what the legislature has done or what the legislature isn't doing. And they need to be able to express themselves through the right to petition. But now they've made that single subject rule for petitions so narrow that before you can ever get on the ballot, you have to spend millions of dollars fighting this out in court, and most of those things just simply haven't made it on the ballot. So they've silenced the people. This is what they've done in so many ways. That's why I'm running, because I'm very effective at bringing the voice of the people to the legislature and in communicating what's going on at the legislature to the average citizen and providing them a way to respond through email and telephone calls and let their legislators know. And I've been doing that for over 20 years at the legislature as a volunteer, as the state president of Nevada Eagle Forum, and I know that I can bring the average citizen, the average taxpayer, the average family's voice to the legislature, which now goes mostly ignored as they go on building government and increasing taxes.
You know, everybody's familiar with the gridlock and pretty much the dysfunctionality, if it's such a word, in Washington between the parties, the executive branch, the president, and like nothing gets done. Do we have anything like that going on in Nevada? Is there dysfunction? Is there gridlock? Is the governor against the assembly? Or do things get done? Can things get done? Can you actually go up there and work with people and get something done?
I believe things can get done, and I believe in the process. And the process is good because when they have 12 to 1,500 bills every session, you say, why do we need that many new laws? Well, we don't. And through that process of the Assembly, the Senate, and the governor, a lot of those bills drop out, and we don't have them, and that's good. But a lot of good things and bad things ultimately make it through the legislature. But it is a good process of checks and balances. The Assembly can stop the Senate can stop the Assembly, the governor can veto what both the Senate and the Assembly do, the Assembly and Senate can override what the governor does. This is a good process given to us by our founding fathers who understood that the division of power and checks and balances and the separation of power was very important. And this process is a good one, but we need people there participating who can really make a difference and go beyond the government lobbyists and the people that are elected as part of the government that really who are perpetuating the big growth of government. We need to get back to the voice of the people. We, the people, need to make that decision and those decisions through our influence.
All right. Well, I'd like to thank you very much for coming in today and sharing that with us, and I'm sure we'll be hearing more from you out on the campaign trail. So best of luck to you in November, and that's going to do it for this edition of Talk TV. We'll see you back here again, and this time of year, I'm sure it'll be with another candidate. Have a good night.